Have you ever wondered where the light of wisdom truly resides? Does the journey towards enlightenment lead to a mystical place, or is it a journey within? Welcome to The Temple of the Sun, a spiritual journey, a sleep story that invites you on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual awakening. Journey with Kai, a young seeker, as he navigates ancient prophecies, dangerous cults, and inner doubts to uncover the true source of light and wisdom. In the heart of a serene valley, cradled by towering mountains adorned with snow-capped peaks, lay a peaceful village. Woven huts dotted the landscape, their thatched roofs mirroring the golden hues of the setting sun. A bubbling stream danced through the village, its clear waters whispering tales of tranquility and harmony. Amidst this picturesque canvas lived Kai, a boy in his late teens with sparkling eyes full of curiosity and a spirit that yearned for something beyond the mundane. Every night, under the dome of the starlit sky, Kai would have a recurring dream. He would find himself standing before a majestic temple, bathed in the resplendent glow of the sun. This was no ordinary building, but the Temple of the Sun, a legendary edifice carved out of solid gold, its spires reaching out to the heavens as if trying to touch the very source of its radiance. It was said to be the cradle of all wisdom and light, a beacon for lost souls seeking illumination. The temple's aura was captivating, its golden facade shimmering with a light so pure and profound that it stirred something within Kai. Each ray was like a divine whisper, awakening his soul and filling him with an indescribable sense of awe and yearning. This radiant vision invoked in him a powerful longing, the longing to comprehend the true purpose of his existence, the longing to delve into the depths of spirituality. Day after day, Kai found himself drawn to this celestial beacon in his dreams. The temple, with its promises of enlightenment and wisdom, beckoned him like a moth drawn to the enchantment of a flame. It was not just a place, but a symbol of the profound truth he sought, the spiritual journey he was destined to undertake. The dream was the beginning, the spark that ignited Kai's quest for enlightenment. His soul was restless, yearning for the light. And it was this light that Kai decided to seek, stepping on the path that would lead him to the Temple of the Sun. On the outskirts of the village, nestled amidst a grove of ancient trees, lived the blind seer, Iolanthe. She was a woman of advanced age, her sightless eyes resembling pools of clear water, reflecting wisdom and serenity. Her reputation as a prophetess was well known, her counsel sought by many, and her words regarded as whispers of destiny itself. One day, Kai found himself standing at the threshold of Iolanthe's humble abode, a quaint wooden cabin veiled by a curtain of intertwining ivy leaves. His heart pounded in his chest as he crossed the threshold, stepping into the dimly lit interior suffused with the scent of dried herbs and burning incense. Sitting by the hearth, shrouded in a cloak of shifting shadows and dancing firelight, Iolanthe received Kai. Her sightless eyes seemed to penetrate his very soul, making him feel seen in a way he had never been before. With a voice like the rustling of ancient parchment, she spoke of a prophecy as old as the mountains themselves. In the ancient lore of their people, it was foretold that a chosen one would arise. This chosen one would find the mythical Temple of the Sun, a place of pure light and wisdom. The chosen one would then bring back its light, illuminating the world that had been lost in spiritual darkness. As Iolanthe voiced these words, her fingers traced the weathered lines of an old parchment, the prophecy inscribed in a forgotten language. As Kai listened, a shiver of recognition ran through him. The prophecy seemed to echo the dreams that haunted him. Iolanthe's sightless gaze turned towards him, her voice soft yet resonant, as she declared her belief that Kai was this chosen one. the seer perceived a light within Kai, a spark that resonated with the ancient prophecy. Doubt clouded Kai's mind. He was but a simple village boy. How could he be the one destined for such a monumental task? Yet, as he looked into Iolanthe's sightless eyes, he felt a strange sense of purpose welling within him. Her unwavering belief in him, the conviction in her voice, stirred his heart, awakening a determination he never knew he possessed. Despite the swarm of doubts, Kai felt a deep-seated resolve solidifying within him. He was the chosen one. He felt it in his bones, heard it in the whisper of the wind, and saw it in the dreams that called him. With a newfound sense of purpose, Kai embarked on his journey. His destination, the Temple of the Sun. His mission, to bring its light back to the world. Kai's journey led him deeper into the untouched wilderness, where the sky was a grand canvas of twinkling stars, and the air was thick with the scent of damp earth and thriving life. Each step he took was a step into the unknown, a dance with uncertainty, as he ventured further from the familiar comfort of his village. One day, as the silver crescent of the moon began its ascent, Kai stumbled upon a secluded clearing in the heart of the dense forest. Bathed in the moon's pallid glow, stood a large circle of hooded figures, their robes the color of the night sky. They were chanting in a rhythm that echoed the nocturnal chorus of the wilderness, their voices rising and falling with the cool night breeze. A massive silver effigy of the moon dominated the center of the clearing, reflecting the moonlight with a cold, eerie radiance. This was the cult of the Luna, a secretive sect that worshipped the moon, seeing it as the eternal rival to the sun. In their belief system, the moon was the true source of wisdom and power, its cryptic waxing and waning mirroring the cyclic nature of life and death. They saw the sun as a false deity, its unchanging, constant presence a symbol of illusion and deceit. Upon discovering Kai's quest for the Temple of the Sun, the cultists were instantly incensed. They considered his pursuit a heretical act, a blasphemy against their sacred moon. With their faces hidden under their dark hoods, they moved like shadows, their intent as clear as the threat in their voices. Kai would not continue his journey unchallenged. For Kai, this encounter marked his first real confrontation. He found himself standing against an opposing force that not only threatened his physical journey, but also challenged his spiritual conviction. The cult's vehement disapproval of his quest shook his resolve, their hostility an obstacle he hadn't anticipated. Yet, he was not swayed. Their threat only solidified his determination. This was his quest, his path to follow, and no force, no matter how ominous, would deter him from seeking the Temple of the Sun. The encounter with the cult of the Luna became a testament to Kai's growing strength, a challenge met and overcome, paving the way for the trials that awaited him. After weeks of journeying through the wilderness, Kai found himself standing on the edge of a vast plateau. The sight that greeted him was awe-inspiring, a testament to a time long forgotten. Before him lay the sprawling remnants of an ancient civilization, its skeletal structures bathed in the fading light of the setting sun. The ruins were of an impressive scale, intricate stone carvings adorning the remains of towering pillars and shattered archways. Faint traces of gold inlaid in the stone caught the last rays of the sun, painting a picture of a civilization that once worshipped the sun in all its glory. Time had taken its toll, but the echoes of their devotion still lingered in the air, a silent hymn to the sun god. Among the remnants, the entrance to a labyrinthine maze was hidden, its location revealed only when the sun was at its zenith, and its light fell upon a specific point. The maze was a grand design of the ancient sun worshippers, a tangible testament to their reverence for knowledge and wisdom, represented by the sun. The maze was not simply a series of interconnected paths. It was a challenge, a trial for those who sought the wisdom of the sun. Its corridors were lined with cryptic riddles etched into the stone, their solutions serving as keys to the hidden doors and shifting walls. Deadly traps lay in wait for those who couldn't decipher the riddles, a grim reminder of the price of haste and ignorance. Kai found himself standing at the mouth of this enigmatic maze, his heart pounding with a mix of anticipation and fear. The complexity of the labyrinth mirrored his internal struggles and doubts, its traps and riddles a reflection of the challenges he needed to overcome within himself. Every step he took within the maze, every riddle he solved, and every danger he overcame was a step closer to his goal. The labyrinth was not merely a physical trial, but a spiritual journey, pushing him to reach deeper into his being, to tap into his resilience, wisdom, and courage. Only by navigating this labyrinth, by embracing its trials and overcoming its challenges, could Kai continue his journey towards the elusive Temple of the Sun. As Kai delved deeper into the labyrinth, he found himself journeying not only through the winding corridors of stone, but also through the maze of his inner psyche. The walls seemed to close in, reflecting the walls of his doubts and fears, and every shadow seemed to whisper of his insecurities. The riddles he encountered were not merely puzzles carved in stone, but resonated deeply with the questions that haunted his own mind. Am I worthy of this quest? What if I fail? Is the light I seek real or just an illusion? Each question echoed louder in the silence of the maze, threatening to consume him in its dark grip. His dreams of the Temple of the Sun began to flicker in the face of his mounting doubts. The radiant vision of the Golden Temple felt like a distant mirage, and his conviction wavered on the brink of despair. He felt as though he was trapped in a never-ending night, a dark abyss where the sun refused to rise. It was a dark night of the soul, a period of spiritual crisis that every seeker must face on their journey towards enlightenment. Kai found himself in the throes of such a crisis, grappling with his deepest fears and doubts. The once clear path towards the Temple of the Sun was now shrouded in shadows of uncertainty and despair. Yet, amidst the darkness, a glimmer of hope remained. Even the darkest night had to give way to the dawn, and every trial was a precursor to triumph. Kai clung to this belief, using it as a beacon to guide him through the labyrinthine maze of his fears and doubts. Each step he took, each riddle he solved, each fear he faced brought him closer to the dawn, to the illumination he sought. As he navigated the maze, he was not merely seeking the Temple of the Sun, but was also journeying towards a personal dawn, a spiritual awakening that awaited him at the end of his dark night. As Kai emerged from the mouth of the maze, his body weary but his spirit untamed, he was greeted by the first light of dawn. The sky was a canvas of pale hues, a soft blend of pink and orange, heralding the arrival of the sun. Its first rays pierced the morning mist, casting a golden glow over the ancient ruins and the victorious young man standing amidst them. His journey through the maze had been a journey of self-discovery, a spiritual pilgrimage that had forced him to face his deepest fears and doubts. The maze was not merely a physical trial, but a mirror to his soul, reflecting the labyrinth of his internal struggles. And in navigating it, he had found a path to his inner self. In the light of the rising sun, Kai experienced a profound realization. The Temple of the Sun was not a physical edifice made of gold, but a metaphor for an enlightened state of being. The light he had sought, the wisdom and understanding, were not to be found in a distant temple, but within himself. His dreams of the temple, the radiant beacon that had guided him, were symbolic of his own inner light. a light that had been with him all along. His quest for the Temple of the Sun was, in reality, a quest for self-discovery, a journey towards his own spiritual awakening. The light he had sought so fervently was his own inner wisdom, his own spiritual illumination. The Temple of the Sun was within him, his spirit the golden shrine, his enlightenment the radiant light. Standing amidst the ruins, bathed in the golden light of dawn, Kai smiled. His journey had come full circle. He had faced his trials, braved his dark night, and had emerged into the dawn of his own enlightenment. His journey had not led him to the Temple of the Sun. Instead, it had transformed him into the temple itself. His quest had not ended, but had only just begun, for he was now a beacon of light, ready to share his wisdom with the world. With the dawn of his enlightenment, Kai began his journey back home, carrying with him the radiant light of his inner wisdom. The path that once led him away from his village now guided him back, his steps firm and his heart filled with purpose. The boy who had left seeking the Temple of the Sun was returning as the embodiment of it. His arrival was met with joyous celebration, the villagers welcoming him back with open arms. Yet, they quickly noticed the change in him. His eyes held a depth they had not seen before, reflecting the wisdom of his journey, and his aura radiated a calm serenity, like a tranquil pool of water reflecting the midday sun. Kai shared his enlightenment with his people, his words carrying the weight of his profound realization. He spoke of the Temple of the Sun, not as a physical place, but as an enlightened state of being, a place within their own hearts. His voice echoed through the quiet village, reaching into the hearts of the listeners, stirring their souls with his words of wisdom. He taught them that the light they sought, the wisdom and understanding, were not to be found in a distant temple, but within themselves. Just as he had discovered his inner light, so too could they. The Temple of the Sun was not a destination, but a journey, a personal pilgrimage towards self-discovery and enlightenment. With his newfound wisdom, Kai took on the role of a spiritual guide, a beacon of light for his village and beyond. His true journey was not the quest for the Temple of the Sun, but what came after, the journey of bringing light to the world, one soul at a time. Through his teachings, Kai illuminated the path to enlightenment for others, guiding them towards their own inner Temple of the Sun. He had transformed from a seeker into a giver, his life now dedicated to spreading the light he had found within himself. His journey had begun with a dream, a vision of a golden temple, and it had led him to become a beacon of light, guiding others towards their own enlightenment. The Temple of the Sun, once a destination, had become his life's journey, the journey of bringing light to the world, one soul at a time. As the seasons changed and the years passed, the influence of Kai's teachings rippled out from his mountain village, spreading like rays of sunlight across valleys and forests, reaching towns and cities. His words were carried by those who had heard him, shared with others like a sacred flame, passing from one heart to another. The wisdom of the Temple of the Sun began to resonate within the hearts and minds of countless people. Like seeds planted in fertile soil, the teachings took root and grew, sparking the light of enlightenment in many. The village that was once a solitary dot on the vast map of the world had become a radiant sun, its light reaching far and wide. In every heart that understood, in every soul that awakened, the light of the Temple of the Sun shone brightly. The prophecy that once seemed like a mythical tale had come to fruition. The light and wisdom of the temple had returned to the world, not from a physical temple of gold, but from within the hearts of people, an enlightenment that had ignited like a dawn within each of them. Yet, Kai understood that spiritual enlightenment was not a destination to reach, but an eternal journey, much like the sun's never-ending voyage across the sky. He knew that each person's journey was unique and continuous, an endless exploration of self and understanding. With every sunrise, he was reminded of this truth, each dawn a symbol of the constant cycle of spiritual growth and understanding. And as the sun journeyed across the sky, so did every enlightened soul continue on their spiritual path, constantly learning, evolving, and growing, their inner light shining brighter with each passing day. Even as the prophecy was fulfilled, Kai continued his role as a spiritual guide, a beacon of light in the ever-continuing journey of spiritual growth. His teachings had illuminated the path for many, and he knew there were many more paths to light, many more dawns to greet, and countless souls to guide towards their own inner temple of the sun. For Kai, the spiritual journey was as eternal as the sun, an endless voyage of self-discovery and enlightenment. And in this journey, he found his purpose, his joy, and his peace, his life forever intertwined with the radiant light of the temple of the sun.